Israel and the U.S. are in intense talks over the possible forthcoming revival of the international nuclear deal with Iran. Israel is pessimistic about a diplomatic solution to the issue of Iran's nuclear program and wants the U.S. to have a credible military option on the table. As Iran nears a possible agreement with the U.S., Israel is ramping up efforts to prevent, or at the very least influence, the renewed version of the agreement.
This agreement is not a good agreement. Iran is in a different place technologically. The state of Israel is not opposed to any agreement. Iran can and should be made to sign a much better agreement. The Americans define it as longer and stronger.
Since it was first created in 2015, Israel has actively worked against the agreement, which aims to curb Tehran's nuclear program in exchange for sanctions relief. Israel says the deal would not prevent Iran from manufacturing nuclear weapons. Prime Minister Yair Lapid will attempt to meet U.S. President Joe Biden next month after addressing the UN at the annual General Assembly. The two are expected to speak on the phone in the coming days, and the head of the Mossad intelligence agency, David Barnea, is set to visit Washington. In rare comments last week, he told reporters that the deal is bad for Israel and based on lies. Former Prime Minister and opposition leader Benjamin Netanyahu, perhaps Israel's loudest and most outspoken voice against the deal, warned against the dangers of signing anything with Iran.
In the last year, Lapid and Gantz completely abandoned the public fight against the nuclear agreement with Iran. For 12 years, we fought with determination against this agreement, and even got the US to withdraw from it. But in their only year in power, Lapid and Gantz fell asleep on guard and allowed the US and Iran to reach a nuclear agreement that endangers our future.
While current Prime Minister Yair Lapid also actively opposes the current deal, his approach is different from his predecessors, focusing instead on preserving the close relationship with the US and trying to influence the deal as much as possible.
We must not get to the situation we were in 2015. We are still paying for the damage caused by Netanyahu's speech to Congress, as a result of which the U.S. administration stopped the dialogue with us, and it was not possible for Israel to introduce amendments to the agreement.
Regardless of a deal, Israel is set to continue efforts to undermine any potential advancements in Iran's nuclear program and use its intelligence to follow up on Tehran's compliance with the rules of the agreement.